Hello and welcome to the introduction video to A Lonely Gamer. My name is Anthony Renteria, and I just wanted to do a little intro to kind of talk about what I hope this channel can be and what I hope it is. So I guess just some backstory on me as a gamer. The first console I ever really owned was an original Xbox. So um, so it has I have a deep fondness for original Xbox games. But more so than that, I feel like my huge gaming moment was during the 360 generation. That's when I really really got into gaming. And I mean, I would game 40, 50 hours a week for multiple years. But I do still have a fondness for the original Xbox, and then for the Xbox One generation, I just completely fell out due to work, joining the military, all kinds of stuff. And then now, I just hopped into the new current generation, which is the Xbox Series consoles, and I've been wanting to get back into gaming. So I thought, well, I need an excuse to get back into gaming, because I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but once you get to a certain age, it feels like gaming becomes almost like a burden, at least for me, because I'm trying to be a writer. I'm trying to finish writing a book. I'm trying to do other YouTube channels and all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to be productive. And when I sit down to start playing, I just feel like I'm wasting time. Does anyone else feel like that? You just feel like you're wasting time? And I think it's just like an age thing. It's like, I'm too old to be gaming or something like that. Or maybe it's just I feel like it's not time well spent. I could be being productive, doing something for a greater cause or a bigger cause, for myself, for a project or something like that. So for the longest time, I just haven't been gaming, but I thought of a neat idea, I hope, or a cool idea, I hope, which is I'm going to be starting this YouTube channel to record my gameplays. And that way, it's not just me gaming, it's me hopefully building an audience, building a community, building a fan base around these games, and discussions around them. And then hopefully, y'all can check out my book whenever it comes out. So, it's just guilt tripping myself, or convincing myself that I can game, and then it also means something more than just sitting down and eating chips and pressing buttons on a controller. So that's what this is going to be. I don't really expect for any huge success to come out of this, or for anyone to actually watch it, because I've been doing a little research in the gameplay community, and it seems like most people either watching people play Fortnite or Overwatch or Halo or Warzone, the big shooters, Apex, so on and so forth. And I'm not going to be doing that. So I guess that's where I'll get into what this channel is going to be. So it's going to be long form gameplays of games, basically unedited. So you're going to see the entire gameplay throughout. I will do compilations. Once I finish a playthrough, I'll do little compilations of best moments, or best freakouts if it's a scary game, or best kills if it's a shooter, what have you. There'll be a lot of extra stuff, but the main source of content here is going to be me just playing through long form all the games. And yeah, so I like making rules for myself. So let's just kind of think of this as kind of like a game club type scenario. So we're going to be playing through all the original backwards compatible Xbox games. So one of the rules is it has to be an original Xbox backwards compatible game to qualify. Now, there are original Xbox games that were ported and updated that are available. For example, Halo 1 through the Master Chief Collection. There's I'm blanking. I mean, Destroy All Humans has an updated re-release. There's so many I can't think of. I think Ninja Gaiden had a re-release. Oh, there's more. Fable, the original Fable. There's not the original Xbox version available. There's the Anniversary Edition. So all those kinds of games, we're not going to play through them. right now. We're gonna get through all the backwards compatible ones, and then I'm gonna call this like phase 1. Phase 1, all OG games. Phase 2, maybe we play all the OG games that have been revamped and reimagined. As long as it follows kind of the core game. Like I'm not gonna count like not that this would count because it wasn't an original Xbox game, but like the Resident Evil remakes, like when it's a remake, it's not going to count. But if it's a remaster or a port, we will count. So I would qualify like Mass Effect Legendary Collection or Edition or whatever it's called, that as a remaster, because it's still the essential same core gameplay, just tweaks. So, but, that's when we get to the 360 time. But there's a couple original Xbox ones that are like that. For example, the Halo one. The Halo one is obviously like, it's still the original game, just ported and remastered, and a lot of visual tweaks to it. So phase 1, we're going to burn through all these original Xbox games. Phase 2, we'll play any original Xbox game that has been remastered or ported that is available on the Xbox Series store. And I guess that's the other thing. I want to make sure I do games that are still widely available. So far, none of these have been delisted yet. There's a potential that they could become delisted. So like if you're watching this a year from now and you're like, oh man, Chicken Little got delisted. What the heck? Well, I mean, that's kind of the whole sucky part about this whole thing, is the licensing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so that's one of the rules, is only original Xbox games. And the second rule is is the order that we're going to play these games. So I thought it would be cool if we went in the order of original release date. So we'll start with the launch titles that are backwards compatible, which is Fusion Frenzy, Dead or Alive 3, and Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. Now, all three of these games I have not played. Even though the original Xbox was my first console, I had a very limited amount of games because my parents were broke as F. So the only games I played in the original Xbox generation was Jade Empire for like 300 hours, the original Fable for like 200 hours, and the original Halo. What other game? Burnout, all the Burnouts that were on the original Xbox, the Grand Theft Auto collection that was in the original Xbox. So a lot of these games I actually haven't played. I mean, honestly, the only game that I played on this list is Jade Empire, Max Payne 2. What else have I played? Played SSX3, but my favorite one was Tricky, which isn't backwards compatible, which, God, it hurts my heart. And, what else? Yeah, those are the only ones I played. Oh, and Breakdown. Oh, I don't know how I forgot about that. Breakdown is like one of my favorite games. I never got to beat it because I was so scared of it when it first came out, because I was like a little baby. I mean, I wasn't a little baby, but I am like a little baby when it comes to like scary games. So for some reason, I could never get through that game. And I remember it being really difficult for me, being like a new noob gamer. So that one's going to be fun. But anyways, what was I talking about? So yeah, we're going to play the games in release date order. So Fusion Frenzy, Dead or Alive 3, and Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. So a lot of these games are going to be first time playthroughs with me. So if you haven't played these games, which I'm assuming a lot of people aren't going back to revisit these games, it seems like, and Slime Rancher is just sneaking in here because my roommate likes playing Slime Rancher. But I feel like a lot of people aren't playing these games and no one's talking about them. And one of the biggest reasons for doing this, besides the fact of me needing an excuse to get back into gaming, and then also to, push myself out of my comfort zone and play different types of games. Like, I hate fighting games, and we're going to get to Dead or Alive 3. I hate party games, and we're going to play Fusion Frenzy. And I don't even know what Oddworld Munch's Odyssey is, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like it. Well, just my taste. So it's going to be a lot of learning and expanding my palette for what kind of games I like. Because I'm like a super, like, I like RPGs. I like something with huge narratives. and that's kind of my bias. And you'll learn more about my taste in gaming as we go on in this journey. But oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm totally blanked out. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of me just blanking out because my brain is a burnt crispito at this point. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something important. Yeah, I forgot. I totally blank. But anyways, yeah. So I'm just gonna end this here. We're gonna be playing all these games, Phase 1, starting with Fusion Frenzy, and I'm gonna try to keep the clips on the shorter side because I'm a new channel. I think it helps when you have shorter clips. So we're gonna aim for 15 to 20 minute gameplays each part, and then I'm gonna try my best to beat the games. Oh, and I've had other ideas. Like originally, I was gonna play them all on the hardest difficulty, but I suck at gaming, so I'm just gonna do the normal. And then if it's a game that I really love, like let's say we play Breakdown, and I'm like, oh my god, that was a hugely amazing experience. Maybe we could do another playthrough where it's on the hardest difficulty. So we can replay games as they come, as they happen, and try to like 100% some of these games or complete them to the best of our abilities. That's going to be fun. And then what else was I going to say? But yeah, that's basically it. So I'm going to try to release one video a week for now. Even though I'm going to be recording like an hour's worth of content, I'm going to try to just focus on creating a backlog of these videos. That way you're guaranteed to have one a week. And then once I have a big enough backlog and I can get my work-life balance together, then I can start releasing the gameplays at a faster clip. So maybe 2 a week, 3 a week, 4 a week, 5 a week. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I was talking about the backwards compatible stuff. Yeah, so I feel like no one really talks about game preservation, and I think that is the single biggest element of this journey that I wanted to go on is game preservation. Like, it is absurd that this isn't like one of the hugest things in gaming right now. Like Jade Empire, like that meant so much to me growing up, and to think that it could just be delisted for whatever reasons. Same thing with like all these other games where just the licensing is stupid. Like, licensing in video games is stupid, and I don't know why it works like this, but it needs to change. And we all need to talk about it because it's ridiculous. Like, think about it this way. Like, a lot of games that are delisted, it's usually because of music or something popping up in the game, right? Like, let's say like an Arby's fast food chain pops up in Grand Theft Auto, and then Grand Theft Auto gets delisted. Not that that's the case, but let's just use that as a scenario. For some reason in gaming, they sign these contracts in like multi-year deals. So like, you can only use our Arby's thing in the game for 5 years, or you can only use this licensed song for 3 years. Same thing with cars. That's why like all the Forza games always get delisted like after 3 or 4 years, because the car manufacturers give like a timed deal to have the cars in a game. But this is where I think this is stupid. I mean, look at movies. Movies have licensed music, and like, let's say the Batman movie that's coming out this year has a Nirvana song. They're not licensing the Nirvana song for 2 years and then suddenly you can't watch that movie anymore. But for some reason in gaming, it is like that. And I don't understand why, if it's just a single piece of media. Like, Chicken Little was created, it's done, the game is wrapped. The code is there, it exists as an entity, right? So if there is a song from Taylor Swift in it, why should it get delisted if they paid for the rights to have it in the game? Why is there a time value added to that? And I think we all need to complain about that, because if it wasn't for that, I think we would have a huge catalog of back compat titles, where currently we only have like 60 on the current Xbox Series consoles. So I'll be talking about that a lot because that's something I'm really passionate about. I feel like gaming is one of the worst preserved mediums of art in the world. It probably is the worst preserved art in the world. And I think more people need to complain about it and talk about it so we can hopefully one day do something. But I will say, I will give kudos to Xbox for, having a back compat program and working so hard to get this done. I mean, it is like an engineering feat, and I'm sure all the people who worked on it, the programmers and designers and developers and the console team and all that kind of stuff, I know they've probably worked their butts off to even make one game possible. So to have 60 games is an achievement in itself. And yeah, we should just always ask for more, though, and hopefully change the licensing nightmare that exists for video games, because it makes no sense and it doesn't apply to other mediums like movies or TV. And yeah, I think that's all for my little introduction. Hopefully I said something of value. I don't know. Like I said, my brain is a crispito right now. So thank you. I'm going to end this now. Check out my other YouTube channels, Lonely Critic, where I do movie and book and game reviews. And yeah, I'll see you next week with the first gameplay of Fusion Frenzy.